And our referee tonight, an Englishman, Russell Smith, has made his way to North Harbour Stadium. 34-22 it was when these two teams clashed on Anzac Day in April. But it was a performance described by the New Zealand coach Frank Endicott as ruthless from the Aussies. They led 20-0 at half-time. Kiwis from right to left for the first half. It is Matthew Ridge who will have us underway. Smith blows time on. The test is underway and a shallow kick-off from Matthew Ridge. Matt Adamson, the first man to come up with a football. And Barnett was there over the top in number 5. The man who missed last Saturday night's grand final for the Sharks, now Wendell Sailor. Tremendous speed and agility in this Australian backline with the likes of Sailor and Renoff and Nagus. Now the Aussies 15 metres inside their own half as they come forward. This is Jason Stevens, his first touch in Test football, and a high tackle on Stevens earns the penalty.
Kiwis hitting very hard early in the match, and they've just gone a fraction high there. Russell Smith, he loves to give the early penalties, the English referee. One bounced up off the shoulder and right around the neck. You spoke earlier of the experience factor. The Kiwis between them have played 231 tests, and Australia only 58 tests, so they are lacking a bit of experience at this level, the Australians. And when you consider that Daly and Clyde have played 38 tests between them, then the Kiwis do have a bit in their favour there.
Now Lockyer coming across field. He went around behind Matt Adamson. Defence came across. It was Kevin Iro. A chance comes now for Adamson inside the Kiwis 20. Well handled in defence by John Lomax. Now 15 metres out from the line to the left with Paul Green. Fires that pass for Daly. Then wider for Clyde, and again the Kiwi defence is spot on in the centres. That time Richie Blackmore. Good start from the Kiwi centres. Daly's bomb. The Aussies with a breeze at their back in the first half, and Ridge safe under that one. Although it must be said the pressure applied from the Australians was a little disappointing.
Well, he's got them for being inside the 10. And Darren Lockyer was onside. There's a couple of others though that were offside, I think.
Well, there wasn't too much in that, Paddy, but
No.
great take there from Reggie. They're doing a lot of confidence. Class player. You're talking about the aggression of the Kiwis. They've got to watch themselves, though. They've already given away a silly penalty, and I know when I was playing with them, we used to try and go out there and smack the Australians, and really, you can really copy everything we give to you. So just got to make sure they play professionally. And what were you going to say?
You're against that lunatic, Tony.
Oh, don't you start, Paddy.
Halfway, Kiwis now inside Aussie territory as Quentin Pongia was taken to ground sideways in the tackle of Craig Gower. And now Sideru making 10 metres from dummy half. Clyde was called in as a second man in the tackle with Adamson. Back with Ridge. This is the last tackle for the Kiwis. Ridge, the ball comes loose. It's with Lomax. Lomax gets his first kick in international football. And it's as far as Kenny Nagus. It probably could have been a worse result for the Kiwis.
Great chase there by the Australians on Ridge. And that might have been John Lomax's first kick ever in rugby league.
Not a bad one for a front rower either.
Not a good one either. Here's Brad Thorne to the 30-metre line.
Well, better than being caught with the ball though, Aussie, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. Brad Thorne, New Zealand born. And now Adamson making 10 metres, running at where the markers should have been covering. 9 metres inside their own half. Green comes to the left for Daly. Kicking before the last tackle from his own 40-metre line. Ridge has got quite a chase. Darren Smith is leading the chase for the Aussies, and Smith is there to make the tackle with Ryan Girdler. New Zealand on their own 20-metre line. And Barnett is the man who has come in from the left wing.
New Zealand just taking their time to get back there. It just shows they've been defending pretty heavily, and you know when you're going in for big hits all the time, it takes a lot of gas out of you, and they've got to get back to the big forwards. They've got to lay a platform here and get plenty of room for their backs.
This time Tony Iro, or rather his brother Kevin, spinning in the tackle. The two Iros in this New Zealand side tonight from the Hunter Mariners in the Telstra Cup. Lomax comes in for a pounding in that tackle. Bradley Clyde over the top, his first international tonight since 1994. New Zealand on halfway with Stacey Jones. Paul Green is there to make the tackle. They can't prevent the offload. Blackmore, half a chance down the right with Matthew Ridge. Getting across was Daly inside for Hoppy. Nice work from the Kiwis. Last tackle. 30 metres out from the Australian line, a stray pass. Fielded by Namu. Then across, quick hands. Stepping inside is Kevin Iro. It is the last. A loose ball from Iro. It's play on for Jones. Then for Namu. 15 metres out from the line. Still play on. Towed through by Iro. Sailor goes back and misses. Iro has claimed a try. Oh, a comedy of errors from the green and gold. And Sid Eru comes up with a first 4-pointer.
Oh, yes, and slack play there from the Aussies in the end, but great play from the Kiwis. They've thrown this ball around. There were some desperation passes there, but the Kiwis kept turning up in position to continue on the play. It comes out wide. The Iro brothers involved. It's Kevin Iro throws the pass back inside to no one, really, but there's a black and white jumper there, and it's play on. Nice pass. Namu once again, the desperation pass out the back on the toe. And he does all the work himself, Eru. Should have been dived on there. Wendell Sailor, he's made a mistake, he'll know that. And grounds the football.
That's a big mistake too that Wendell Sailor's made, but great stuff from the Kiwis. And the thing is, they kept the ball alive. They're desperate out there, they're trying everything. Working to get first points on the board. They've done that. Great stuff from Sidiru. Now, I thought he was no way he was going to get this try, but, well, a bit of luck involved, and he goes over for a great one.
Sidiru, a veteran of 12 test matches, and now Matthew Ridge, the skipper, a shot from 15 metres out and 15 in from touch into the breeze and right over the centre of the crossbar. There's no black dot here, but New Zealand lead by 6 points to 0. 5 gone. Harbour Stadium. New Zealand with the early try to Sidiru, the goal to Matthew Ridge, 6-0 the score, and the restart of play, a repeat of the kickoff to start the match. Adamson on a shallow return, and then Kearney came up with a big tackle. This is Clyde, 3 men in the tackle that time. 5 inside their own territory. But there must be some points advantage in this breeze at the back of the Australians in the first 40 minutes. Bite in the breeze as well. Now it gets them going to the right. Green then for Daly, the skipper. Lockyer's up in the line and then channels for Steve Renouf. Renouf finds some space. The inside ball, a man looked to be taken out. That was Smith. He cops some interference. He comes up with a football. 15 metres out from the Kiwis line. Lockyer. Wide ball to Daly. Setting himself to the left for Green. Green offloading the front row and the centres. That was Jason Stevens. And some punishing Kiwis defence forces the turnover.
That's really the first time the Australians have had the football and used it out wide. They did very well. It's a big tackle here. Oh, Richie Blackmore over the top, hammered Bradley Clyde.
Yes, might be a little suspect high too from Richie Blackmore.
But Clyde is still down. He's back on the 10-metre line. Play resumes without him. That is Bradley Clyde in a fair deal of difficulty at the moment. So a 12-man Australian lineup defends. The Kiwis on halfway. This is the lock forward. Young Logan Swan made his test debut last year before even having played a first-grade match. Now with Tony Iro. Spreading wide for Richie Blackmore. He almost ducked under a tackle. Covered over the top by Darren Smith. Last play. Still Clyde is out of the play. It's with Jones. Wider there for Namu. Fed across for Swan. Ridge on his outside. He's with it now, Matthew Ridge. The left footer for Richie Barnett to chase. It trickles over the sideline, 10 metres out from the Aussie line.
Well, it's a good game so far. Both teams prepared to throw the football around. That's great entertainment for the crowd here. And Matthew Ridge on this occasion, he saw that he was covered, put the grubber in. He goes in a touch, but still a lot of concern for Bradley Clyde. He's back on the Kiwis 10-metre line. He's sitting up now, which is good news.
Well, he did cop a pretty high shot there. Batty from over the top. He's a pretty tough customer, Clydey, and Richie Blackmore would be pretty lucky one of the touches didn't come on.
Clyde is jogging back to the play. Plenty to say, Russell Smith, the Englishman.
Kevin, hold your 5 metres till the ball's up.
The driver's all crazy if he keeps up this banter.
Stephen, stay in the pack till the ball's out. Wait, lads. Turn back on, lads.
Now Green for Sailor from that scrum. So Clyde is back in the line. My memory serves me correctly, on that 94 tour, Clyde was the victim of a number of high tackles as well. So his return picks up where it left off. Green, short pass there for Adamson. Playing in the second row. The Australian side, he was also in that test match on Anzac Day. Now Brad Thorne, New Zealand born, got through the first tackle. That was from Quentin Pongia. And the Aussies up to their own 40. Gower scooped up there for Green. Wider for Daly. He lunged forward. Was he able to contain the ball? He was. Caught it at second attempt. Now last tackle. Lockyer, the man kicking, a beautiful kicker of the football, Darren Lockyer. The left footer perfectly weighted, almost back to the New Zealand goal line. Ridges with it, the skipper. Linking up with Richie Barnett. Lockyer had led the chase, and now Barnett shifts it back inside for Hoppy. Hoppy coming back to the 20. Some nice play from the Kiwis. Gower makes the tackle.
Yeah, they're taking a few risks down here, the New Zealand side, but just shows you they're playing with confidence. They've got their tails in the air after that try, and really, everything seems to work for them.
Now Pongia coming out of trouble for New Zealand. Over the 30-metre line. Eru keeps them going to the right. Quick hands there from Lomax. Finding Swan. Now 8 metres inside their own territory. And leading by 6 points to 0. Hit over the top on Kearney. He rocked back as Stevens put his shoulder into the tackle. Kearney resented that hit as well. Short pass there for Barnett. It was a chest-high tackle fielded by Renouf. Got no problems with that. Matthew Ridge then came in with a swinging right arm on Steve Renouf. Now for Thorne. To halfway. Picked up and dumped in the tackle. 3 men there again. Ridge was up with Jones and also Eru. Saylor has made another error. The Kiwis come up with it. Oh, Wendell. Zero tackle applies, and Kevin Iro is with it for New Zealand. Saylor confidence would be very much down. I think New Zealand, if they get a chance, they might test him under a high ball. There's now Swan allowed to run inside the 30. 25 metres out from the Australian line. Eru, New Zealand looking very effective as Blackmore gets around two, tries to steamroll Lockyer. Lockyer does well on his own goal line.
Lost control before he tried to steal.
Yeah, well done, Richie Blackmore. He put himself into that. Some good running from dummy half. Caught the Australian markers out, and there was a chance there. I've got to say, a great tackle by Darren Lockyer. See the markers, they weren't ready. Sidiru, the man on a dummy half, gets around Nagus as Blackmore. Look at this, ball and all stuff there from Darren Lockyer, and then Darren Smith came and helped him in the end.
So Australia back in possession. It's been an impressive start from the likes of Richie Blackmore and Kevin Iro. Players that have been a part of successful New Zealand sides against the Aussies in test matches. Renouf almost a knock on a dummy half, not almost, it was. According to referee Russell Smith, an error-riddled start from Australia, and this one putting them under real pressure.
Wait, Aussie's got to push. Aussie back three, I want you to stay in the pack till the ball's out.
The scrum 25 metres out from the line.
Stay in the pack, Aussie's
He was standing fairly flat. There's now Jones, Auckland Warriors Player of the Year. Gene Namu now. Wide ball there for Hoppy. He's left posted, he's coming back in field. He can't link up with a teammate. Tackler was Craig Gower. Handling errors, 3 to the Aussies in the early stages, just 13 minutes gone. And now 30 metres out from the Australian line. Sidiru for John Lomax. Another man who had an outstanding year for his club side. In fact, he was the North Queensland Cowboys Player of the Year. Jones across with Namu. He had Swan running inside and then picking up a runner. That was Iro trying to stand in the tackle. Thorne was able to lock up the ball on the Australian 20. Eru spinning from dummy half for Kearney to carry forward. In front of the Aussie posts on the last tackle. Ridge gets it away for Jones. There's only one man to the left. Jones puts up the kick. Barnett doesn't come close, and Lockyer is with it. Just a breakdown on the last there for the Kiwis. There was only Richie Barnett on the left.
Yes, and you caught it right. They were going to put the bomb up to Wendell Saylor. They tried it. Didn't come off for them, though. Bit of breeze, though. You can see the ball swaying in the breeze, but there was really no Kiwis out there. Bit of a communication breakdown from the New Zealand side.
Now back with Matt Adamson. Busy start for him. Tackled over the top. A forceful tackle from Quentin Pongia. And now Green. Daly on for Smith. Chopped down in the tackle of Richie Blackmore. Again, they're forced to come forward with Stevens to halfway.
The New Zealand side really trying to muscle up in the tackles and put big hits on early on. I just wonder how long they can carry on with it. It's a ploy that we used to use all the time to just try and unsettle the Australian side. It's working for them at the moment, but for how long?
And also the fact, I think they're running into this very stiff breeze, and some of the forwards hardly making any headway. So they'll do it very hard, and I think the other thing that might go against them late in the match is that in international rules in Super League, you're only allowed 6 interchanges all game. Whereas in other conditions you can have more interchanges, so that'll go against them.
So New Zealand coming out of their own 30-metre zone. Australian defence now aiming up as Lomax, accommodated by Adamson. The Aussie bench tonight, including a couple of newcomers. Shane Webke is there, Luke Prittis is there, Craig Greenhill also, and Brett Mullins.
Tackle a complete, Laurie.
Penalty late in the tackle count to New Zealand. A shake of the head from Laurie Daly. I think he's having trouble coming to terms with the rulings of Russell Smith. For a second challenge on Sideru. So a full set of 6 to work with from inside the Australian 30. He's got a set of tonsils, this referee.
Oh, someone passed me an aspirin.
Eru for Lomax. Lomax runs into Thorne. Squashed in the tackle. Now Eru away with Pongia. Coming back to centre field. Loose ball there from Pongia. Well, Smith may have ruled the tackle had been affected. But he's called an Australian ball, so Gower is the man who will come up with it.
And I'm sure Quinton Pongia won't be happy with himself there. The forwards were setting up for a nice move in the centre of the field. Can't afford to lose it on the second tackle.
Sideru, the early try for New Zealand, reached the goal and 6-0 the score. Ken Nagus is with it. The Australian side, a player that's had a fortnight break since Canberra's last match. Now Hoppy's pinged for a high tackle here. Doesn't appear to be too much venom in it. And now Rich has walked 10 metres. He was coming up to question the decision. He is the captain.
This is what sometimes let New Zealand sides down. Have a look here with Sean Hoppy going in now. He's not a malicious player, Sean Hoppy. There's nothing in that, really, and he's been hard done by.
Well, they're simply trying to wrap up the football. I mean, please.
Well, here's Thorne. Australia with their best chance of the match, only 15 metres out from the Kiwis line. And they're going to attack the blind side with Clyde. He's recovered from that earlier knock. Smith contained in that tackle. Hoppy was there. With Blackmore now for Green. He's got a runner almost forward to Stevens, then back for Green. 15 metres out, inside ball for Daly, stepping. And a good tackle front on from John Lomax. Green still 10 metres out from the line, long ball. On the bounce there for Renner. Jones does well to make the tackle on Steve Renner. Now 5 metres out from the Kiwis line. Australia in search of their first points. Sailor in traffic. And contained by 3 Kiwi defenders. Eru went low in the tackle along with Lomax. This is tackle 5 with Craig Gower. Stevens minding his own business. Found himself in no man's land. As the ball came wide, flick ball well handled by Nagus for Smith. Then for Clyde. Then kept it alive with Daly. His kick is a good one. But it is a very small in goal here at North Harbour Stadium.
And they are defending very, very well, the Kiwis. They just kept getting there. A chance for the Aussies down that side. A good long ball from Paul Green. Found some space for the Australians out wide there. The hands up from Clyde as the decoy. Now they kept finding support and the Kiwis kept getting their Daly the kick. What about this dead ball? It's about 4 metres.
Yeah, apparently on your home ground you can make the dead ball whatever length you want. The Kiwis wanted it short and they got it short.
Well, I think 6 metres is the minimum depth. I reckon someone's made a minor error as the Kiwis come back to halfway. Off the boot, I thought the kick was fine. And now it's back with Jones. For a high tackle there of Thorne. He just hung out the right arm. Would have been dangerous. Now, I think it's Clyde down again for Australia at the moment as Kearney comes forward. He's inside the Aussies 40. Daly in a wrestling match. Sailor provides a bit of extra weight in the tackle. In fact, it was Darren Smith who was down for Australia and he is limping back to the defensive line. So again, they are 1 short. It comes wide with Namu, a cutout ball. That has come off an Australian hand, one would think. New Zealand back for it with Kevin Iro, and the tackle count restarts. And now Gene Namu.
10 metres.
Takes the rolling of Smith. Catching the Aussies offside again.
At least 2 players well inside the 10 after being told it on 3 or 4 occasions.
I've got to say, I've got to laugh. He's still talking. There's no player within 15 metres of him. He's explaining his ruling to, well, I guess to the viewers at home. And now they come forward with Pongia. 20 metres out from the Australian line. Kiwis up by 6. Jones on for Tony Iro. Finds his brother Kevin. Little jump on reception of the football, then back for Tony. Iro with that ball for Jones. They're getting plenty of offloads, this New Zealand side. That would be of great concern to John Lang. Now rigid dummy half, 15 metres out from the line with Lomax. Taken over the top by Green. Ridges with it. Jones, then Namu. Plenty of support on the outside. He finds Tony Iro. Looking for Kevin. Tony Iro! All the way to score for the Kiwis! A show of the ball from Tony Iro. And this crowd, well, it's not capacity, but they are hanging out of their tree.
Oh, he's a good player, Tony Iro. Always has been. Came from Wigan to Australia to play for Manly, and now he's gone through the Roosters and now the Hunter Mariners. And he's still in this Kiwi side. A nice piece of deception. Shows the football, then gets on the outside of Renoff. Poor defence, really. You've got to play the man.
Yeah, you certainly do. And the big thing about Tony Iro is he always looks to offload. And I think that's why they hung off him a little bit. They're always looking for him to offload here. Renoff there just couldn't get hold of him. Big Tony goes over for a nice try.
And it'll be a very handy lead. As I said, this breeze is very stiff. And if they can maintain this lead and go in at half-time, well, they're looking pretty good. Produce a strong kicking game, keep the forwards going well. And their forwards are playing well. Likes of Pongia and Kearney, Lomax. And for Australia, I think Adamson and Jason Stevens doing lots of work in tight for them. Clyde and Smith playing out very wide tonight.
Now, cab trip to the North Harbour Stadium tonight. We heard the news from the local bookmakers. They were prepared to give the Kiwis 9.5 start. At the moment, that is looking very healthy. As Ridge lines up this kick, he's only taken it back 11 metres, and he's a metre in from touch, working on the narrowest of angles. Ridge knows what's he doing. It's gone across the face. So, New Zealand on top here at North Harbour Stadium. We'll take a break. It's 10 points to 0. Friday night football, 22 minutes gone and 2 tries to the Kiwis. John Lomax, his first rest of the night. In fact, he's gone to the dressing room for New Zealand, so perhaps a problem. Joe Vunganar is now on for the Kiwis. Play restarts with Matthew Ridge. And it has been the case with all 3 kickoffs, only as far as the 20 into that breeze, and Matt Adamson has been the catcher. Now Gower, we'll get to see Gower run out of dummy half as Stevens was on the spin and the tackle, gets it to the 40-metre line. And now Clyde. For Darren Smith, he was limping around in the lead-up to that try. He's back in the line for Australia now. Brad Thorne tackled, 5 short of halfway. With Green and Daly. Smith is on his outside again. They kick before the last tackle, sending Renoff and Saylor on the chase. The kick is back with Matthew Ridge. He's 5 metres out from his own line, and he's happy with just taking the tackle on that 10-metre line. And now Barnett to centre field for Sean Hoppy. 2 world-class wingers in this New Zealand side. Sean Hoppy, one of the Auckland Warriors, and Richie Barnett, we believe, off to Sydney City next year. He's with it now, Barnett, over the 20-metre line, and dumped in the tackle of Smith and Thorne. Vunganar, his first touch of the football. Good low tackle from Gower. Still a teenager. Well, Gower's caught offside.
10-metre back to penalty. Mammals offside.
Yes, and it's all come from quick play of the balls there from the New Zealand side. They're going in low and hard and getting up quick play of the balls. Big Joe Vunganar there, you see, just fighting to get up, and it's catching the Australians offside.
4-2 the penalty count at this stage as Vanganar gets another hit up and back he goes in the tackle of Stevens, but a points decision there to Vanganar. He got as far as the 30. A forceful entry from this young front rower. Now Pongia. There's numbers here on the left. It is with Swan. Swan is half through the line and taken low by Daly. Quick play the ball for Namu. He's got Barnett on the outside. Inside was Pongia. Pongia is only 5 metres out from the try line. 10-0 they lead and they're threatening more points. Kevin Iro from dummy half. And held up in the tackle of Daly. Pongia. There for Jones. Wider ball. In fact, it was Namu now on for his second roll. That is Kearney trying to get on the outside of Girdler. And with the right arm free, Girdler does well to make the tackle. On the Australian 10-metre line. Last play, Namu, a looping pass there. Fed on from Tony Iro. Then off for Kevin Iro. Really razzle-dazzle stuff from the Kiwis. Pongia. Still it's alive. Now back with Jones on the Australian 20-metre line. They continue to offload. Eru bats it along. Now there's trouble. One of the Australians was taken out. That was Darren Smith.
Oh, they just pushed it like a fraction too far there. Someone had to kick the football at some stage. They weren't going to score a try. The Australians had a good line set. Had to put the ball up. In the end, the desperation passes didn't pay off, and Renoff was taken out as he was, or Darren Smith, as he was going for that football.
More points there could have been fateful for the Australian challenge tonight at 10 points to 0.
And you think about the New Zealand side too, they've got a bit of a lead on. They've got the wind behind them, in front of them. And the New Zealand side, so what they're doing is they're just prepared to throw the ball around.
Big hit on Adamson. Brent, that came from Tony Iro.
And that's pretty unusual. The Iro boys not known for their defence. But all the New Zealand side are heading out there, but they're just prepared to throw the ball around. They're having fun and really got a bit of a lead, so watch out, Aussie.
And now with Jason Stevens on the Kiwis 20. Gower at dummy half to Paul Green as first receiver. Wider there with Daly. Spreading wider still for Girdler to come back in field. At the end of that was a good tackle of Stephen Kearney. Again preventing the offload in that department, very much weighted in favour of New Zealand tonight. As Clyde is upended in that tackle. Kearney went low. Accompanying him was Pongia. Now Green, 15 metres out, the Bombers across field for Wendell Saylor. Barnett is there, Barnett has lost it. It comes the way of Stacey Jones. Saylor pinged for offside.
And Wendell questioning the touch judge. The call came from the touch judge. He's still talking to him. Let's have a look and see. Well, he's onside. I reckon he was half a metre behind the kicker. That's a bad call.
Pressure off New Zealand. Australia haven't been able to sustain any sort of pressure in the opening 27 minutes of this match.
That's the thing about Australia. They haven't got consecutive sets of 6 yet. And they just really haven't got going as far as playing with the football is concerned.
Stevens and Vanganar locked horns in that previous tackle. Pongia, yet another offload. Swan keeps it going for Namu. They tried to duck under the tackle of Girdler. So they're short on that left side defence, Australia. Girdler was called into the centre of the field as Swan gets some ground through the centre. Again, it's Gower who goes low. Gower's tackle count mounting. And the Kiwis now 45 metres out from the Australian line. Slow play the ball.
Yeah, Australia are going to have to start lying all over the New Zealand side. They're getting too many quick play of the balls and just getting a good roll on. And they're offloading too.
Pongia on for Tony Iro. A dummy to Kevin. Then back for Richie Barnett. Well, that's travelled forward into Kevin Iro. They are in possession. So zero tackle again as Wendell Saylor. Big fend on Namu from Wendell Saylor. 40 metres out from the New Zealand line. With it is Gower, then Green. He's got Lockyer now up in the line. Been a while since he's seen some football, Darren Lockyer. And straight away he slices through. Lockyer is away from 3 and he is home. Well, he turns the switch on and through he went, Darren Lockyer. What a super player he is.
Well, you're right. I can't remember calling Darren Lockyer apart from one very good tackle. Has hardly touched the football. That's how the Australians have played tonight, mainly through the forwards. And he does it all on his own. A great step through the big slow forwards. They're starting to get tired now, the the Kiwi forwards, and Matthew Ridge couldn't put it with him. A desperate dive at Lockyer. He's a star, all right.
Yeah, he's a star, and that's one thing about the Australian side. They have got some really individual, brilliant players out there that can turn a game, and this guy is one of them. You know, he can do anything on his day, and that's what they've been looking for, just someone to turn the tide a little bit, just to give them a little bit more enthusiasm. He's certainly done that. Lockyer had a fine season, and that's a fine try and a great comeback for Australia.
The boy from Roma, just 20 years of age. And I guess it's not such a stunning prediction to say that we will remember this night as his test debut. He's destined for a long international career. Darren Lockyer. Ryan Girdler landed 5 goals in the Anzac Day test. This is his first kick of the night from 12 metres out and right in front. Runner-up to Laurie Bailey in the Player of the Year award. Girdler is successful with a kick. Australia back in a 4-point ball game, 10 out from half-time. Harbour Stadium, the venue tonight for Friday night football. 10-6 the score to the Kiwis. Australia get their first try of the night with Darren Lockyer. Slashing try, 30-metre run. New Zealand with Tony Iro. Crucial time for them inside this final 10 minutes of the first half. Sloppy play, the ball from Iro has caught the Australians offside, but actually I think that is attributed to the work from Tony Iro in playing the football.
Yeah, they've really worked hard on that, and Frank Endicott can take a bow there. Obviously done a lot of work at training with the quick play of the ball, so catch them offside, and he was forced to give that penalty then, Russell Smith, because they were about 2 metres in front of him.
Good offload from Bunganar, gets some second phase play happening there for Ridge. Taking on the defence of Matt Adamson. Now 5 metres inside the Aussies' half. A few changes in the Australian lineup now. 2 of the young men making test debuts tonight are on. Clyde is off the field. Likewise, Brad Thorne, Shane Webke and Craig Greenhill are now out there for Australia. So their first minutes in international football. Kearney is wrapped up. 40 metres out from the Aussies' line. Sideru, a dummy half, and now a bit of a punch was thrown, perhaps. A lashing out of the leg from Craig Greenhill. They've come running in, and Greenhill wants to plant a left and a right on the beak of Matthew Ridge. He's a young Turk, Craig Greenhill.
And still going. And something was due to happen. The game's just been simmering along. There's been a few little incidents. And this one, I'm not sure what happened originally, but Matthew Ridge came flying in to put in his 2 bobs worth.
It doesn't take much to get Matthew rucked up, though.
Back off, lads. Just relax a minute. Just back off.
Australian fella had a punch. Did you see the punch? Yeah. There was only a push from Kearney, and then he gave a punch. But after that, number 1 from New Zealand coming in, he started the game. He started all going. Matthew, did you think that?
Yeah, but to be honest, I think really there's not been enough. I'm going to have a word with the player here. I mean, this guy, I'm going to have a word with him.
Yeah.
Kearney post.
Yeah, and you have a word to Matthew for running that.
Yeah. Right. Pull that guy all the way captive.
Well, that's...
Well, there you go. Try and work that out. In that North English accent.
I wonder what they mean, the jury on a murder case.
He was telling a few people to back off.
Sending the player off.
Yeah, that's
It's very important that he calms himself down.
Yeah, no, he will, mate. Yeah.
We had another reaction. Yeah. If I get another reaction, it could be serious trouble. Let's have a look at his number. 15. Matthew. Yeah, I know.
Free hit, just a penalty, is it?
Yeah, when we've got it under control, don't come running in and worsen the situation.
Well, there you go. Very entertaining stuff there. And Craig Greenhill did start it. He threw the punch.
Ridgie come running in there and carried it on. And Well, New Zealand are lucky to get a penalty there.
There was a suggestion on the replay, though, that Jason Stevens and Craig Greenhill, there was just a motion with a knee towards the head of the tackled player, and that sort of sparked things going. So there is feeling in this test match.
And this is where New Zealand have got to be very careful. Their emotions can take over here and do some silly things.
Bungana, Stevens is up there in the line. Now there are 4 Aussies in the tackle. Stevens along with Greenhill and Shane Webke. Sideru, 15 metres out from the line. With it is the 14. That's Tyron Smith. Started the year with the Cowboys, finished it with the Hunter Mariners. Now 10 metres out from the line. Eru to the right, switch of play from Namu. This is Jones. They've got players in motion. Second rower is Kearney. And held in the tackle of Green and Smith. The Australian 10-metre line. Kiwis up by 4. 7 minutes out from half-time. Ridge is extending to the left side for the Kiwis. Back infield for Jones. He needs support. Can't find it this time. Wrestled the ground. A one-arm tackle from Paul Green. Last it is for the Kiwis. Namu up for Kevin Iro. Iro setting for the kick, then forces along for Swan. Contained in the tackle. So change over Australia in possession. They've done well in that set of 6.
Yeah, I can't believe the Kiwis aren't putting the high balls up, because with this breeze it's going to hang there forever. And their 5th tackle options have been pretty ordinary so far. Good to see Shane Webke making his debut for Australia. He's a great young player, Webke. Had an outstanding game in the Telstra Cup Grand Final last week.
And Sailor coming in for some intention then from Tyron Smith. And now Greenhill. They line him up in the tackle and nailed by Logan Swan. So they get one back on Greenhill. Daly's kick. Smith is the man leading the chase. Ridge back to his own 10-metre line. Inside that mark. Energetic chase from Darren Smith. We expect nothing less. He misses the first up tackle, but Nagus is there in cover.
And that's a great chase from Australia there, and it pins New Zealand right back in now. The forwards have got to get back and work it up. A couple of wingers will get in there and help them out, but they've got to get back and do those hard yards, the Kiwi forwards.
5.5 minutes out from half-time. Sean Hoppy is with it. Taken low in the tackle of Girdler. Jones. Tremendous player, the Auckland Warriors halfback, and getting away from the tackle he had no right to. It was away from Greenhill. 5 metres inside their own half. Eru away with Swan. Handling himself well in only his 4th test match appearance tonight. Logan Swan. Now Kearney. Tackled low by Green. Last tackle, although Smith has found a second tackle against Shane Webke. That was tackle 5, and the Kiwis will get another set of 6.
Now that's a huge bonus for the Kiwis. They did well to get 50 metres there in 5 tackles into this breeze. And that second effort there from Webke is the one that told the story.
The line kick from G Namu. 8-3, that penalty count to the Kiwis. Bungana is the man back for New Zealand. Tackled by Stevens. Stevens with 11 tackles next to his name tonight. 25 metres out from the line, the Kiwis with Pongia. A short pass, a quick pass that went to ground. With it is Kearney. Again Stevens is there. Kearney by Webke. The tackle counts now. Those 6 sets of 6 more for New Zealand in possession. As Tyron Smith spins away from the attempted tackle of Gower. He almost sent Namu on a run to the try line. Jones, this time Namu gets his chance. He's 5 metres out. Held up in the tackle of Webke. New Zealand with options left and right here. Matthew Ridge, the captain, from dummy half. Matthew Ridge is held up. All hands on deck in defence. There were 3 in the tackle. And it is the last for New Zealand. Slow play the ball. Comes back there for Jones. His overhead ball. There's another try, or is it? Smith calls the pass forward to Hoppy. Oh, the crowd's not happy with this one.
Oh, he's called it forward. It looked all right from where we sit. In actual fact, it was back to the first tackle, had been touched by the Australians.
Oh, I've got to disagree there, Fatty. I think it was a mile forward. Have a look at that.
Well, how far do you run of a morning? You must run 100 miles.
That looked forward to me.
No, I reckon it was all right. But the players who were in line with that, in particular Matthew Ridge, they were filthy.
Australia out of trouble yet again with Jason Stevens. It just had to be a try. They had a 2-man overlap. Webke is with it. Gets inside the New Zealand half. He's backslammed for his troubles by Kearney. With it is Adamson. Adamson again hit hard by the defence. So they're aiming up in this concluding stages of the first half. This was our concern earlier in the game. With it is Girdler. Taken across field by Blackmore. 35 metres out from the New Zealand line. Well handled there by Green, who had to stoop low to field the pass. In fact, it was Gower at first receiver. They're now 30 metres out. Last tackle it is. Green a dummy half for Daly. He's only got 2 men on his outside. He kicks back to the left. Here is Matthew Ridge on his own 10-metre line. Ridge is superb. Magnificent take from the New Zealand captain.
No, well, how many times have we seen Matthew Ridge do that over the last 6 or 7 years? He's a great rugby league player, Matthew Ridge.
Very solid, isn't he, under a high ball like that? Doesn't take his eyes off it. And very, very solid. Had players coming down on him.
Got the fair job from Ken Nagus in competing for that football. New Zealand to their 30-metre line. Barnett. Everyone getting involved in the cause for the Kiwis tonight as Pongia. He's running freely.
You know, you look at this New Zealand side, it's been a tremendous first half, and I think they've given their best shot. Where I'm still looking for Australia to sort of open up and ignite. They've had a pretty ordinary first half. They're only 4 points behind. Just wonder how much that wind will pay in the second half.
Jones on for Namu. Looking lively again. Blackmore decides to put the kick in. Lockyer has this one covered up on his own 20. What a try it was from Darren Lockyer. The lone 4-pointer in this half of football for the Australian side, but it was well worth watching. Nagus is with it. He's had few opportunities in this first half, accommodated in that tackle by Pongia. Now Green for Daly. Wider there with Renoff stepping. He's beaten Kevin Iro, Steve Renoff. He's over the 40-metre line. Doing well to get across was Tyron Smith. And now Greenhill running straight at Quentin Pongia. Sort of effort tonight that will please the Auckland Warriors fans. They will be getting plenty of it from Quentin Pongia in 1998. This kick for the line, will it pull up? It's headed for those little in goals and has gone touch in goal. We'll go back to the 20.
Yeah, the players now, New Zealand just want to run down the clock and go into half time. They can be proud of their efforts in the first half. They played very, very well. And John Lang's got a little bit of work to do to rev his players up.
The last remaining seconds of this first half of football. Hoppy. And now Vangana with it for New Zealand. 2 tries to 1 in this first half. Half-time siren now sounding. So that is the end of the first 40 minutes. And virtually a standing ovation for the New Zealand team. 10 points to 6 the score. Sid Eru and Tony Iro coming up with 4-pointers in the first half. Darren Lockyer, a solo effort for the Aussies. We'll take a break on Friday Night Football from North Harbour Stadium. New Zealand 10, Australia 6. Referee Russell Smith has more than played his part in this game. I don't think we've had a more vocal referee in the entire season. So play underway in this second half. Jones the receiver of the football and Pongia the man tackle. Laurie Daly, Australian captain tonight. John Lomax is with it. Played for 25 or 30 minutes of that first half before getting a rest. In fact, he ran to the tunnel. He may have had a minor problem. Brent, what about it? You've been in plenty of New Zealand rooms in test matches. What is Frank Endicott likely to have said at half-time?
Well, I'm sure he'd be pretty happy with their performance, although he'd be a little bit worried that with the amount of possession they have had, they haven't got more points on the board. It's been a great defensive effort from Australia, so I'm pretty sure he'll have a big kicking game in the second half. Well, if he's a smart coach, he'll use a big kicking game and just try and play Australia down in their own quarter and just try and force an error.
Well, there's the first kick of the half. It came from Gene Namu. Wendell Saylor hoping to get a shot at the football, but over the sideline. So that's the first set of 6. They've covered 80 metres of territory, and that's an indication of the breeze at the backs of the Kiwis.
And that's the sort of kick that New Zealand will be looking for all of this half. No use trying to put it in the in-goal with the in-goals only being about 4 or 5 metres. The ball just will not stay there with the breeze behind it, so they want to put it into touch, waste some time, and make Australia work very hard out of their own quarters.
Australia from the scrum. Wendell Saylor is with it. He will feel solely responsible for the scoring of the first try by Sid Eru. He went to kick the ball dead in goal. Another big tackle comes from Lomax on Greenhill. Greenhill has become public enemy number 1 in this game. Now a high shot on Adamson. Adamson lashes out the tackle. Referee Russell Smith had already reacted to the discretion of Tyrone Smith.
Just a second, Lottie. Come here, big fella. We're over the top with the arm. We must make sure that we get below the neck.
That was the tackle from Lomax on Greenhill. And then the high shot from Tyrone Smith on Matt Adamson. In the meantime, Australia in possession with Webke. The legs moving, now 40 metres out from the New Zealand line. They're looking a little sharper to start this half of football. Stevens makes another 10 metres. Sets the platform to attack. They come to the left with Greenhill. He's allowed to run 8 metres. And now to the Kiwis 20-metre line. Australia down by 4 points. Green wider there with Daly. Cutting out Adamson on the pass. Renouf was looking to step back inside Jones. Jones did well. Sliding across in defence. Darren Smith. Then with it is Green. Holding the ball up for Daly. He's sliding across downfield. Picks up Girdler. And Blackmore makes the tackle. 15 metres out from the New Zealand line. This is the last. It is with Gower. He kicks for himself. Craig Gower in goal. Fielded by Matthew Ridge. And Ridge is away now for Barnett. Well, it's only 6 metres, this in-goal area, and Barnett has ruled not to have got to the field of play, and yet the ball is technically over the line.
Well, was that an early call there by the referee?
The line is in goal, the ball was on the line.
The ball's on the line, he's saying, so it's still in goal. Fair enough. Put the ball on the line from the opposing side, you score a try.
What about the pass from Matthew Ridge, though, in goal? It was a pretty gutsy effort from Ridgie.
He was actually going to get it into the field of play, except there was a very good tackle there by Steve Renouf.
Just an expression of the talents of Craig Gower. Dummy half with a short kick. There's delay in the restart. We've got 2 balls on the field. Crowd for this test match would probably be around about the 13 or 14,000 mark. It's our first visit to North Harbour Stadium. McGann from New Zealand Rugby League did say it's about a 25,000 capacity. Adamson, Axley, 25 or under 35 metres out from the New Zealand line. Gower with dummy half duties, sending Stevens on a 10-metre charge. Gower again to the right, the switch of play from Green for Daly. Just jogging up to the line. He's got Girdler on his outside. Daly almost through. Trying to pierce a hole in this New Zealand defence. Blackmore made a tackle. Now Magus coming back infield to within 11 metres of the Kiwis line. Early pressure all on the home team in this second half. Gower for Green. He propped to the left and then shuffled along to the right for Lockyer. Scorer of the lone Aussie try in that first half. Iro and Tyrone Smith the tacklers. This is the last tackle for the Australian side. Steve Renouf not wearing the headgear in this second half. Daly's kick. On the bounce, Laurie Daly goes through. Matthew Ridge. Captain on captain, and again Ridge. In what we expect a faultless performance, has done it again for New Zealand.
Yeah, great work by Matthew Ridge, but Australia getting some more football. As Hoppy runs in front of his post to get out of the danger area. And Laurie Daly really coming into his own here. He's had a great first 5 minutes of the second half. He's been in everything.
New Zealand showing offloads again to get out of trouble. Jones, lively from dummy half. Looking to link up with support. Doing well was Logan Swan. It's been an impressive game from Logan Swan. And now Lomax. Lomax over the 40-metre line. Stevens went low on the tackle along with Renouf. Jones on for Kearney. Kearney charging into the Aussie defence. He leaves Green behind on the broad of his back. Big run from Stephen Kearney. Now Blackmore kicking on the last tackle. Threading that ball on the blind side. Lockyer from that in-goal area. He tries to step, now running wide of Jones. The chasers are there. And Lockyer has lost the football, but it's a 2-man tackle. Penalty to Australia right in front of their own sticks.
New Zealand trying to steal the football there. Because there was 2 men in the tackle, it's illegal. And Lockyer did very well to get that ball and get back into the field of play. And both Namu and Jones had hold of Lockyer.
And that's a good chase, wasted 2 by the New Zealand side. They were down there and could put a bit of pressure on the Australians.
Another indication of that breeze. Laurie Daly taking no chances with a kick for line. If anything, it may have strengthened for this second half at the backs of New Zealand.
Yeah, interesting to note, Andrew, what Frank Endicott's done with his defence out wide. He's got both Namu on one side and Jones on the other, defending inside the wingers. Normally that's where the centres would be, but he must be worried about their defence. They're only little blokes, and he's got them out there where they would do not much tackling. Renouf nearly gets through.
Lockyer was involved in the chain passing of the Aussies. Renouf contained short of halfway. Can't remember the last time I've seen him without the headgear on. Here's Daly's kick. Only as far as the New Zealand 20. And back is Barnett. Well, he's making up for lost time tonight. Richard Barnett missing that grand final, but very eager and enthusiastic performance from Richie Barnett on the left flank tonight for New Zealand. This is Matthew Ridge. Upended by Greenhill and Webke. Now with it is Pongia. Stepping up to the 40-metre line. They play the ball. The defenders a little tardy in clearing from the tackled player. Logan Swan gets it to halfway. Now to centre field with Lomax. Lomax, Webke went for the shoulder charge. Then Eru back for Namu. Namu now spins in the tackle of Daly for Jones. It's on again for the Kiwis. Kevin Iro is with it. That ball looks slightly forward to Barnett. It's allowed to continue now with Vangana. Vangana 20 metres out from the line. Still able to offload for Jones. Jones gets it going for Kearney. Kearney for the Kiwis. 10 metres out from the line now, 5. Still going is Kearney and tackle by Darren Smith. New Zealand stringing together 9 and 10 passes. Vangana, the man kicking. Eru on the ricochet. No restarting in the tackle count. Last tackle it is. 8 metres out from the line. Kiwis up by 4. It's back with Matthew Ridge. Wide ball there for Namu. He's got Iro. In fact, it's black ball. Then for Hoppy. This is the last tackle. Hoppy has sighted a gap. Lockyer is the last line of defence. The offload. Has he forced the football? Video replay will be called for.
Well, the New Zealanders, some inspired play from them the last set of 6. Brilliant stuff there. And has he got the ball down? A desperation tackle in the end. Hoppy, there was a big gap there. No, it's no try. No try, it's been lost.
And what about the defence from Australia, though?
Big tackle, I think Darren Smith, the man, makes the crunching tackle. Over the top, Lockyer down below, Smith over the top, knocks the ball loose, no try.
Unbelievable scrambling from Australia there. Tremendous defence. And as you see, his fatty called it no try. New Zealand throwing everything at them.
And now the video referee has to adjudge, did Ridge try and pass that ball or did he lose it in the tackle? Because if he passed it, you've basically got to say that Darren Smith forced it in goal.
Well, for mine, this should be a line dropout.
If he rules that Ridge has lost it, it will be a changeover. In fact, lost in goal.
20-metre play kick.
Well, that's what he has ruled. He's ruled that Ridge was trying to pass it.
So Australia in possession with Wendell Saylor. Magnificent play from the Kiwis in the lead-up. And now Greenhill to the 30-metre line.
The thing about the New Zealand side, they've been able to offload. Australia really have to put them on their backs, don't they? The defence has been solid on their line, and they've got to put the Kiwis on their backs, or they'll just keep offloading all game.
Now Gower. With it is Stevens. Pushed to ground a second time there by Swan. This time the tackle was Kearney. Now Daly, the captain, for Green. Right on halfway, swapped in the tackle, little Paul Green, the Cronulla number 7 by Kevin Iro. Last tackle. Lockyer back, so one of the kickers out of the play. Daly gets that one in. First bounce to Matthew Ridge. Kicking to this big breeze, the Aussies in the second half. Ridge trying to line up the defence and get on the outside of Smith. But Girdler was there to wrap up the New Zealand skipper. Now Barnett. Again, the offload. Jones is with it. Jones through traffic for New Zealand. Even the smallest man on the field is able to offload the football. Hoppy. They make 20 metres in that rush, the New Zealand side. Eru. There with Namu. On for Vangana. Being used effectively off the bench tonight. And every time he touches the football, the crowd has gone up. Lomax now for the Kiwis. Yet another offload for Tyrone Smith. Then a beauty for Swan. The pass goes loose. Play on for New Zealand. 30 metres out from the line. Iro's ball loose. Back now is Swan. A one-handed pickup from the New Zealand lock forwards. And all the time, players allowed to continue. 30 metres out from the Australian line. Eru there for Jones. Now Kearney. Kearney lumbers forward. Contained by the Australian defence. Some Respite just for a moment. There's Namu from dummy half for Blackmore. He was looking for Hoppy on his outside. He shuffled back infield. Last tackle. When Namu from 10 metres out. The Australian line is under pressure. Saylor is back. He's lost it. Wendell Saylor. It has gone dead in goal. And Smith is going to rule off Wendell.
Yeah, that was a neat little kick there. Probably didn't go high enough to give them a chance to score the try, to get there in time. Laurie Daly can't believe it. He's sure it came off a Kiwi, and it should be a 20-metre tap. Hard to judge from that angle. But no, well, Laurie Daly's right. That has come off Barnett's arm. It should be a 20-metre tap.
And the referee was in a great position to see it too. He was right there in front of them. He's made the wrong call.
Testing times for the Australian side. They had won the first test earlier this year by 34 points to 22. They led in that game 20 points to 0 at half-time. Entirely different here tonight at North Harbour Stadium.
One thing that's great about this Kiwi side is their ball security. They're completing their sets of 6 and their ball security is just fantastic. They're able to offload, but they are controlling it.
Well, there's another from Bungana. What a crowd favourite he is. Lomax, 15 metres out from the line. Oh, gee, you wonder why Auckland finished near the bottom of the table on this performance. Some of their players tonight are excelling. Namu, wide of there for Iro and tackled low by Steve Renoff. Now 5 metres out from the Aussies line. Quick hands there from Ridge for Namu. Then for Jones. Now with it is Kearney. Blackmore's on his outside. Kearney may not need him. He's picked up Jones on the inside. The Warriors double combining. Kearney for Jones. That is a beautiful try.
They're playing great football. They've had all the ball this game. That's why they're in front. But Stephen Kearney's had a magnificent game. Great football from the Kiwis. They just spin it wide. They sense a chance out here. Some good decoys back from the inside. And they just hung off. The Australians hung off Kearney. The defence back on the inside hadn't come across. And he's had a wonderful game too, Stacey Jones.
Yes, he's a tremendous little player, Stacey. Backs up those big guys. But Stephen Kearney out wide. Really, that's a ploy that Frank's used. He likes his big guys ranging out wide and will always offload a nice ball. And if you've got a little halfback like this backing up inside, tries will come.
Well, Fatty, your comment, have you ever seen an Australian side so ineffective at preventing the offloads?
I've got to say, they have been disappointing tonight. And I do just put it down to lack of ball. They haven't had much. They've had to do all the tackling. And naturally, they're tired. They've had a long season, these Australians.
Plenty more to come as Ridge lines up this kick from 5 metres in from touch. Ridge has it on its way. The Kiwis are up by 10. 27 remaining. Friday night football. Back to North Harbour Stadium. 10 points is the margin at the moment for the Kiwis. 10-6 at half-time. Now 16 points to 6. And a great try before the break from Stacey Jones. Off the offload from Stephen Kearney. So Australia now have sent in one of their strike weapons. Brett Mullins is off the bench into the game for the first time. This is Webke stumbling a little in his run into the tackle of Lomax, but a quick play the ball there for Gower. 5 metres inside his own half. Craig Gower. Crossfield by Blackmore. Their contribution has been so strong tonight. Richie Blackmore and Kevin Iro, the two centres.
And he was one of the weak links while I was talking to Fatty earlier on. I thought that the centres of the New Zealand side would be the weak links. As we see the Aussie coach there, Johnny Lang, bit of concern on his face, but they have played well tonight.
Well, what he's done, as I said, in defence, he's pushed them in. And when you've got the New Zealand forwards lined up, with on the fringes Blackmore and Iro, it's a very formidable defensive line. And they've come up with 13 and 9 tackles respectively, whereas the halves have only done 7 between them because they've been out wide. So it's been a good ploy from Frank Endicott.
Here's Sean Hoppy. Oh, he's taken high there by Stevens. No call from touch judge or referee. Webke was also there in the tackle on Sean Hoppy. Little look up from Hoppy when he played that football just to get the number of who had made the challenge. Lomax right on halfway for Eru. And Jones. Jones put down by Iro, or rather Tyrant Smith it was. It'll be a double knock on, but it will be an Australian scrum feed.
That's a shame. That's the mistake the Australians have been looking for and that they need. Tyrant Smith's had a pretty good game. He's a strong runner, long legs, gets through the defensive line and looks to offload, but couldn't control the ball there. I'm very impressed with Vangana, this prop forward. He's a real prospect. He's probably the best prop I've seen in New Zealand since Robin Orchard.
Have you seen the size of him though? He's a man mountain when he goes. He always takes 2 and 3 defenders with him.
Renouf is down after that previous tackle. You can see just at the top of shot, Renouf in a bit of strife. Maybe down for the count. We understand Bradley Clyde won't be returning tonight. The Australians are 40 metres out from the Kiwis line. They trail by 10. Standing wide as Mullins off the Daly pass. He was beautifully handled by Kearney, although they're going to say the ball was stripped in the tackle.
Thanks, Ellen.
Well, the referee saw this incident. He was right in front of it, but he took advice from the touch judge, who was closer, and the touch he's done well. He was right. Ripped out by Namu.
And that's the reaction of the New Zealand captain, Matthew Ridge.
Unusual for Ridgie to blow up.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Always had plenty to say, Reggie. Great behind the line, though. Some of those big forwards better go.
Just slowing things up on the restart. Steve Renouf is still down. And the Brisbane fans watching will be hoping that he's okay, because they've got the Visa World Club Challenge quarterfinals kicking off next weekend. Renouf, a 3-try hero from the Telstra Cup Grand Final. The early sign's not good on this one. Off to the World Club Challenge. In fact, we'll be back in New Zealand for the clash of the Warriors and the Bradford Bulls. But right now it is Australia on the attack, 15 metres out from the New Zealand line, needing to score. Gower. Fawn is back on for the Aussies, 10 out from the line, now 5 metres. Taken to ground by Smith. Gower has a chance to go left all right from dummy half. He's gone to the right with his skipper, Laurie Daly. Smith again is there with Logan Swan, right in front of the New Zealand posts. Gower for Green. Green has runners. They skip out Stevens on the pass. Lockyer. There is the ball for Girdler. And the last line of New Zealand defence effective. Dummy half is Nagas. He spun from that position. Held the tackle. Hoppy the man. Last play it is. It's with Green. Green has Gower. His kick has Smith on the chase. Smith is unable to handle. That'll be no try, I'm sure, although he may call for the replay. Lost in goal is the call. So back to the 20. Darren Smith almost had it served up on a platter.
Yeah, lovely kick from Paul Green. Well weighted. And Smith got the good bounce, but once again, Stacey Jones, a great tackle, forced it loose.
New Zealand again out of trouble with Sean Hoppy.
New Zealand too, when they're working the ball out of their 22, they're making some good yardage there. It's all from quick play of the balls. They are making plenty of yards, which enables them to get in a good kick and chase.
Lomax forward, then pushed back by Green and Stevens in the tackle. This time it's Logan Swan. Brought up by Adamson. Still referee Russell Smith barking the orders at both teams. Vangana spinning as he met the two-man tackle and proving a real handful. Big Smoking Joe Vangana. I've got that right, haven't I?
The best prop since, what's it? That bloke Orchard?
Robin Orchard, 1971.
High ball from Namu. Under it is Lockyer. He's as safe as Reg, although he's lost it this time. He was under a lot of pressure. New Zealand get another set of 6. 15 metres out from the line. Well, they've got Australia on the ropes now. Iro was with it. One-handed offload for Jones. That man was offside. Smith has played advantage for the Kiwis. Kearney attacking the Australian defensive line. He can offload as he did for the previous try. Now 5 metres out from the line. Eru, a dummy half. He scored their first 4-pointer tonight. Jones shaping the kick, then running. Back with Vangana. Go Big Joe. 10 metres out from the line. Overhead ball there for Ridge. Ridge is now 5 metres out. They're pointing, and Ridge is pointing his way over. The Kiwis are in again. This time it's the captain. 4th try of the night, and it's 20 points to 6.
Oh, and that should wrap it up. They deserve the win too if they get it. great performance from New Zealand, doing everything right, all the little things right. Quick play the balls, controlling the football. You've done a rabbit here, Bossy. Oh, he's safe under the high ball, and he's dropped it. You've caught the disease, and then from there, the Australians were just outnumbered, and then they're not coming up. And look at the defence on the other side, just sort of hanging back, and you can't hang back this close to the line. Plenty of pointing, no one wants to tackle.
Yes, they're just prepared to throw the ball under the New Zealand side and really throw it from impossible positions. Look at Big Joe there. Now he just pops one over the top, so he's looking to offload all the time, doesn't really know where it's going. And Matty catches it, and I'll tell you, he's a pretty proud captain. He'll be very, very happy with that try. Inspirational player. That could seal it, as Fatty said, although I never write off an Australian side.
Yeah, Brent, they're not playing well enough with the football, are they, Australia? They're not making the clean breaks, and no dummy half running, and they're little ball for them. So I don't think they can win from here.
That's the big thing, not having the ball. I mean, New Zealand have completed their sets of 6, and their ball control has just been great.
The Kiwis, while this try was scored, John Lomax off the field. He was on the ground just 5 metres out from the line as they went to the left. They had to basically pass over his body. Well, what about this bloke, Joe Vunganar? What's the name of that Orchard bloke again? The best since Orchard.
Well, he's a big guy. I think he's about 6'3". He's huge, and he always takes 2 and 3 players with him, and he can offload. I think the big thing is he can only go for 20 minutes, then they have to pull him off, so give him a bit of a spell.
Well, John Lang, rather. He's 7 days. He's headed for a second loss.
Not a happy night for John Lang. He's a very, very smart coach, is John Lang, and of course he's got a Super League tour to England at the end of the year in November. 3 tests against Great Britain over there to look forward to.
I understand they're taking a 22-man squad for that 3-test tour. No club matches on that tour. And also a proposed test against France has been dropped from the itinerary. Now Ridge taking plenty of time with his kick. We're now in the final quarter of this game. Matthew Ridge, his previous attempt, he banged it over from the sideline. This one from 5 in from touch, 20 metres out. Ridge is trying to swing it back. Matthew Ridge is unsuccessful. Friday night football. The Kiwis lead by 20 points to 6. Welcome back to North Harbour Stadium. That is the trophy they're playing for tonight, the Bill Kelly Memorial Challenge Cup. And Bill Kelly, the only player to have played for both New Zealand and Australia in Test football.
Well, what was he? A new Australian.
Pretty good bloke, I think.
We go way back to 1911, 1912. Dally Messenger did as well, of course.
And some bad news for Australia and for Brisbane fans that Steve Renouf has torn a quadricep muscle and will not return tonight.
Second player out of the squad for the Aussies as Thorne carries forward, but you see the number 3 or the number 4 in every second tackle, it seems, tonight. Richie Blackmore that time on Thorne. Gower across with Green, then Lockyer. He was taken out of the play by Kevin Iro. Play continues with Mullins.
Well, I think the Kiwis can sniff a bit of a victory here, and they're really going all guns. Really fired up, running off the mark very quickly, defending well.
We go back to Olympic Park in Melbourne. Way back in, what was it, 1991 for the last New Zealand victory. Daly's kick is fielded by Pongia. The front rower just plucking it one-handed. And before that, I think it was 87 at Lang Park, when New Zealand recorded a victory over Australia. Kevin Iro was in that side at just 18 years of age. Now Vunganar. 35 metres out from the Australian line. Pongia is with it. Oh, Webke went for a big shot that missed. And held up in the tackle of Stevens. But New Zealand can smell more points. Amu goes across field there for Kevin Iro. He's through the tackle of Girdler. Then for Hoppy. 20 metres out from the line, still going as Hoppy. Now 15 out. Full width of the field to work with. Scooped up by Blackmore for Namu. Fired across in for Jones. He holds the ball up with one hand for Ridge. Then wider for Tony Iro. Iro was held up by Saylor and Lockyer. Right on the Aussie goal line. In fact,
on a time off on that. I don't know whether we're grounding there, buddy.
Well, that means we're going to the video replay. Says referee Russell Smith. He wasn't too sure.
No, and he's just saying to the players, by the time we got round to the incident, it was all over. He wasn't sure where everything was. Iro's body actually finishes in the in goal. Yeah, where is the football?
That could be a try, you know, if Wendell Saylor's arm isn't underneath the ball. Let's have a look here from the front on. Oh, you can't see much from there.
And you can't really see the ball on the ground either.
It's got to be said, Tony Iro doesn't claim a try, nor does the closest man, Richie Barnett. Good work from Lockyer and Saylor.
Yeah, great defence from Wendell Saylor. He's held that one up, but it'll still be a Kiwi ball with a couple of tackles left up their sleeve.
The decision apparently will not appear on the big screen. It's just via the two-way communication and a changeover on the last tackle.
Well, in fact, it was a fifth tackle, so it's a changeover.
On the way, they got the decision. Somewhat of an anticlimax after Smith had already ruled the changeover. Well, I suppose that's the official correct weight we can now pay. As here is Gower to the 10-metre line, held up by Eru. What there'll be some spirited Kiwis tomorrow as a big tackle on Adamson is forced a turnover. The knock-on shades of Ryan on Peachy from last week's grand final. And it's Smoke and Joe yet again, Vangana.
Oh, they've pumped up the Kiwis. They've just given it to Adamson. Vangana, it's a shoulder elbow charge.
Yes, he goes in for those big charges. Big Joe, there it is there. Front on.
And he's still down, Adamson. That's hurt him.
Yeah, he can do some serious damage. He lines them up. When he misses, he looks like a bit of a goose, but when he hits you, you know you've been hit.
Adamson, his head hit the ground hard after the challenge from Vangana. I was just going to say, Brent, there'll be some disappointed New Zealand fans tomorrow that they've missed tonight's match.
Yes, it's going to be a great victory if they win, which it looks as though they will. It's been a long time between victories, so I'm sure there'll be a bit of partying and celebrating tonight. Especially for the Warriors players who haven't had much to celebrate all year, and their coach Frank Endicott.
Augurs well for those quarterfinals of the World Club Challenge. Adamson a little sickened after that one. It'll be a New Zealand scrum feed, 15 metres out from the Australian line at 20 points to 6. The only try of the night to the Aussies was entirely a solo effort from Darren Lockyer from 30 metres out. The scrum again.
Down again, lads. Scrum rotated.
Jones working this scrum, an untidy one. He's come up with a football though. Green, opposite halfback, making the tackle. Now from dummy half, Logan Swan trying to pinch 5 or 6 metres. The blindside raid with Stacey Jones. Then with it is Pongia. Pongia 15 metres out from the line. Smith and Thorne combined. Two of the Broncos in the tackle. Now Sid Eru back to the left. Vangana yet again. There's that offload. The reverse pass. It comes wide then with Jones and quick hand from Namu. Batted on. It's wider now with Hoppy. 15 metres out from the line and Hoppy is through the tackle of Ryan Girdler. He's come up with a few misses tonight, Ryan. 10 metres out from the Australian line. Eru looking for his second try. This is Sid Eru. He's forced it. Yet another Kiwi try. Well, it's getting a bit embarrassing. I've got no doubts about it. They will call for the video referee. But if you got your ticket and it says New Zealand try, get in the queue.
And the referee, sit down, Toddy. And the referee's just checking for safety's sake. Sid Eru's had a great game tonight. Look at the effort here to get the ball down. No doubt about it, that's absolutely.
Yes, and he took 2 Australian defenders with him, and I've got to tell you, guys, I am enjoying this call with you blokes. Haven't seen 2 subdued guys like this. Wow.
Oh, it's been a great game.
Oh, it's fantastic to be a Kiwi tonight. I'm pretty sure I took them at the start tonight.
You did, you goose.
Come on, buddy, did you?
There's the decision for the try. And the Kiwis, that is the 5th for the night. There's still 14 minutes remaining. And it all gets back to offloading of the football.
Well, the Aussies are shocked, aren't they? Too many mistakes by them. They've turned over too much possession. The big hit by Vangana. That gets the try. Give him 2 points out of that 4.
Yes, he's got great vision too, you know. Joe in there in the dummy half, he's powerful. He sees the gap and he goes for it. I just can't believe the power he showed to take 2 Australian defenders with him. Confident little player.
Yeah, one thing about the Australians tonight, their defence, they have had to do a lot of it, but it's been very ineffectual. The Kiwis have been able to stand in tackles all night and get through a lot of tackles.
Yeah, that's the big thing, being able to offload. I haven't seen a New Zealand team being able to do that for so long, just free to offload the ball whenever they want and not being put on the ground.
5 of this New Zealand pack will be the Auckland Warriors pack next year with the inclusion of Quentin Pongia. Again, you're baffled to understand how the Auckland Warriors really performed so poorly this year. In particular, their efforts at home. And Ridge had another kick from the sideline. New Zealand captain in his 23rd test tonight. Strong breeze at his back, but not struck well from Matthews, so that one unsuccessful. 24-6 the score. 5 tries to 1.
And you know, I don't want to rub it in or anything, but
go ahead.
We might be going for one of the highest scores ever against Australia. I don't know.
Paul Green clutching at the left shoulder when he reeled away from the charge of Vangana. And Green, in fact, is now off the field, so more problems for the Aussie side, and Luke Prittis is out there. The Australians in his first test.
Well, it's a very young Australian side, and we can't be too harsh on them. I mean, it's a learning curve for them. Lots of players making their debuts, their first ever test. Lots of players not here. I mean, no Tallis, no Langer, no ET. So, you know, it's not the best Australian side we've sent over here, but you can only play what's on the field. New Zealand have played very well.
At the end of the day, it is a test match, and that's what counts, isn't it? So,
on their own 30-metre line, this is Brad Thorne. Now as far as the 40. Gower in at first receiver. Daly then for Lock. And now back with Mullins coming back in field on his own 30. The tackle of Vangana. Now Prittis. Canberra forward who has progressed through tri-series this year, now into test football. Remarkable rise for him. He started the year not as the first choice hooker at Canberra. Simon Wolford was that man. There's the kick from Gower. Back goes Richie Barnett. Very safe performance from the 3 men at the back for New Zealand. Barnett, Ridge and Hoppy. On the other side of the ledger, there's been a few errors from the Australian trio. There's Tumu on in 17. Crowd tonight, 17,500 here at North Harbour Stadium. And now Hoppy. Back to the 30. The far side of the ground, Barnett is down with cramp. This is Tony Iro, scored a good try in the first half. Another player who will feature in the World Club Challenge quarterfinals. The Hunter Mariners still in contention. And here goes Vangana again. He's made 15 metres. He's beaten 3. Vangana has now made 25 metres. Still going, Joe Vangana. It was like 13 on 1. And Vangana still won the battle. Here's Namu. 35 metres out from the line with Kearney. Then for Swan. Overrunning the play was Blackmore. Swan hanging on to the ball. Now put the ground 25 metres out from the Australian line.
I just like the way these New Zealand boys are carrying the ball in one hand. Just shows you how cocky they are at the moment, because they're always looking offload, but they're just running with it in one hand. Pretty risky stuff.
Now the pressure on Saylor. Namu's kick only gets as far as Mullins. And Mullins, a rare highlight in this second half, able to come down with that catch.
Paul Green won't return. He's got a sternum injury. In Australia, they're in the wars. They've only got one replacement left.
Renouf and Darren Smith, or Renouf and Bradley Collide, rather, ruled out of the match earlier.
And that being Craig Greenhill. He's the last man standing on the bench, or sitting on the bench. Smith goes through.
Loose ball from Smith, overrun there by Girdler, and back with it is Blackmore. Counter-attack from the Kiwis. Blackmore crunched in the tackle. Coming across was Stevens, the front rower. In cover, he'll be penalised, Stevens. In fact, he may be off to the sin bin. for this wrestling match on Richie Blackmore. It was a great cover tackle from Jason.
Yeah, silly play in the end. A good run by Richie Blackmore. Nice tackle.
But Richie, I'm going to penalise him for interference.
There's the bust by Smith. Now, as an offload, not the best pass in the world. Blackmore, he's away. And well done by Jason Smith. I'm not sure if he was cover defending or having a bludge back there, but he got him anyway, and then made a few more attempts to hold him down. So penalty to New Zealand.
And 30 metres out from the line now, back on the 40-metre line, New Zealand's end of the field. Darren Smith is down and they have called for the stretcher. Well, this is a disastrous night for the Australian Test side. Darren Smith, after a burst of some 10 or 15 metres, hasn't been able to regain his feet.
Yes, the Australian side are doing it tough out there at the moment with injuries. Been some punishing defence though from the New Zealand side all game, and it's starting to take its toll, I think.
Smith from the field for the Aussies. Reminder about the World Club Challenge kicking off next Friday night with the Warriors against the Bradford Bulls, to be followed by the Brisbane Broncos on Saturday night. Back to ANZ Stadium when they take on St Helens, who in recent weeks have been one of the form sides through the finals of EuroLeague. From the bench now is that the Aussies in fact have already made their 6 changes for the night.
Well, apparently so they will have to finish the game with 12 men. So it's been a tough old night for the Australian side.
Well, Darren Smith only now in the playing arena. And New Zealand on the restart. 20 metres out from the line. Here comes Quentin Pongia. They've wound him up for this run. Thorne tries to make the tackle. 10 metres out from the Aussie line. Another offload. Robbie Paul, his first touch. Robbie Paul gets to the tie line. Was it a double movement in the tackle of Darren Lockyer? Well, was the ball grounded or not in the tackle by Darren Lockyer?
I have my doubts whether it actually had hold of his leg, Barry, but let's be safe.
Smith, the referee, summing that one up. Here's the replay of Robbie Paul.
Well, the question is, if someone's got a hand or got hold of Robbie Paul, then it's a double movement. And, well, from that angle, it looked like Lockyer had a hand on him.
Hang on.
The arm carrying the football came into contact with the ground. He then levered himself off the deck with his left arm. It has to be a double movement. It'll be an Australian penalty. No try that time. The Aussies off the hook. Robbie Paul making a dramatic entry to this game. Australia under siege at 24 points to 6. 8 minutes remaining. And confirming the Aussies are down to 12. They have used up all their replacements for the night. Under the international rules of Super League, you are allowed 4 replacement players, 6 interchanges in total through the course of a match.
And it's been a great effort from the Kiwis, and especially their coach, Frank Endicott, for his ploy with the defence, as Paul was talking about earlier, but they've also had a really compressed defence and slid well when Australia have moved the ball wide. So it's been a tremendous effort in defence and attack from the Kiwi side.
Luke Prittis to halfway. Only half was Thorne. He takes up from that mark. Makes 10 metres. That is Brad Thorne. Held up in the tackle of Kearney. And also Logan Swan. Last play it is for the Aussies. Prittis is with it. Blindside shot from Lockyer. Kicking for Ken Nagas to chase. He's seen very little football tonight, Ken Nagas. And he can't get within 2 or 3 metres of that kick as it trickled over the sideline. Now, there's one of the strike weapons coming into the match, Brent, that you would have expected to see maybe 2 or 3 times in the game with a big run. We've hardly seen him.
Yes, he's been pretty quiet out there today, but I think Paul touched on another thing that really we should bring up is the experience of this New Zealand side. You know, in big matches, experience does count. Australia have got very little experience in the Test arena, where New Zealand have just got it everywhere. And maybe that's been to play out there as well. It's been a very professional performance from the boys.
the start of the night. Just to elaborate on that point, Australia had 5 players making their test debut and another 7 players who made their debut in that Anzac Day test. As the Kiwis get a penalty. Webke. Webke barking an order at Smith, and he replies by marching him 10. Tackle on Timu. Well, he was getting to his feet, and Webke made the second challenge.
Yes, he's got nothing to lose by making a statement, really, except 10 metres.
It really was a bark. I don't think there was any word there. It was...
What language was that?
I'm not sure. I don't know. As now the Kiwis continue to attack Robbie Paul. Pulled up 10 metres out, still an offload. Lifted himself off the deck to pass. It's been a feature of their performance tonight, along with some very rugged defence. They haven't tired. They have had plenty of football, though. Jones with Namu. Namu shaping the pass, then gets the overhead ball to Blackmore, who's lost it. Just as it was looking dangerous yet again.
Yes, G. Namu's had a very good game as well. He's been a good link man tonight for them. And that's a good ball, that one. Just didn't find the mark. Richie Blackmore couldn't control. He must be getting a bit tired, Blackmore. 18 tackles in the match for him. A great effort.
Yeah, it's been a tremendous hit from Richie, but you look at Stacey Jones and G. Namu, they're in the same club side, so they know each other's combination. They're two pretty quiet customers too, don't talk too much, but they really worked on that this year, and they have played great football this year, and it's a great little combination they've got going.
Well, our Telstra man of the match at the end of this one. Kiwis concede a penalty. Richie Blackmore offside. Quick restart from Ryan Girdler. Smith would have probably pinged the Kiwis yet again for inside the 10. Now's play to continue. Webke running with some venom. Bounced away from Bungana. Handled there by Pongia. Now 40 metres out from the Kiwis line. Comes up to Stevens. Picking his mark to run at. He ran at Logan Swan and Stephen Kearney. British is the man at dummy half. Just one try tonight for the Aussies. Green, or rather, Gow was the man at first receiver. Back then for Mullins. And now Pritis running freely from dummy half for Daly. The defence comes at him. That was Logan Swan wrapping up the ball. He did well, young Logan Swan on Daly. Finished off by Kearney. Final 4 minutes of the match. Last tackle with the Aussies. Gower's kick. Chasing through as Lockyer. Put to the test as Ridge, but Lockyer flies high. It's a fair try to the Aussies. Lockyer on debut gets his second. The Gower kick, the Lockyer take.
Great play by Darren Lockyer. Too little too late by the Australians. They haven't been down in the New Zealand quarter much at all. It's a great kick, comes down near the sticks. The breeze holds it up, and Lockyer simply outleaps Matthew Ridge.
Yes, he's had a tremendous game, hasn't he, Lockyer, tonight? He's been one of the players out there on the Australian side who has had a go and scored 2 tries. And Matthew Ridge, well, just didn't leap high enough for it, as Daddy said. And Lockyer goes over for a nice try, but he needed it about 20 minutes ago. Great take.
Darren Lockyer test debut coming up with 2 tries. 24 points to 10. No reason for the Kiwis to stop celebrations. And Girdler will have this kick from just 11 metres out. As Fatty mentioned earlier, 3 more tests for the Aussies this year. That will be in England. Girdler's kick successful, so they reach 12 points. 24 to 12 the scoreline, but 5 tries to 2 I think is a better indication of the difference between the teams tonight. About the frustration of Craig Greenhill. He's fit, he's out on the bench, but they've used up all the replacements. He can't make his way back to the field. The Australians playing with 12 men. With the players on debut, Craig Greenhill. Daly's restart, a short kickoff that's holding up in the breeze, coming back towards the 10-metre line, but Rich did well, flying behind the back of Richie Blackmore. On their own 40-metre line, Blackmore away from Nagus.
He's played out of his skin tonight, hasn't he, Richie Blackmore, in defence and attack. He's a big sort of a bloke and just been tremendous out there.
Now Ridge with Hoppy. He's come in from the wing to get involved, taken low there by Girdler. Now scooped up from dummy half from Robbie Paul. One of the Bradford Bulls players who will be in action next Friday night. Matthew Ridge goes across field. 40 metres out from the line. Inside ball there for Namu. Stepping nicely off the right and then off the left. Gene Namu now needs support. Not taken to ground by Mullins. The link player there was John Lomax. The Kiwis keep it alive with Paul. Paul is away from Thorne, then steps into the tackle of Lockyer. 15 metres out from the line. They're looking for a tally of 30 points. Penalty here will be against Luke Prittis, right in front of the posts. Matthew Ridge wanted the player in the bin. He decides to go for the quick restart. Namu, then the ball for Iro. Iro is taken low in the tackle by Ken Nagus. Big tackle from Kenny. The Kiwis, this is Hoppy coming across field. Final minute of the match. Kiwis up by 12. Jones, then for Kearney. A try to finish off would be so sweet, and Kearney's offload to Jones has provided that. Now the champagne corks pop, and the Kiwis, a big win, 28-12.
Oh, and how fitting that Stephen Kearney sets it up. He has had an outstanding game, Stephen Kearney, for the New Zealanders tonight. And Stacey Jones finishes it off. Great break by Robbie Paul. Lockyer can score him and he can stop him. That was a wonderful tackle as well. The penalty, a couple more tackles later. The Australians, too much tackling to do tonight. Can't put the men on the ground. And Kearney sets it up for Jones.
Yes, that's exactly right. Putting the man on the ground. New Zealand have been able to offload all game. And that man there, Stephen Kearney's had a whale of a game. And Stacey just backs him up all the time. And I think that's a record for New Zealand. I think the last week was 24 points. I think they've beaten that.
Well, the kick from Ridge from right in front just rubs a little more salt into the wound. Another 2 to the Kiwis tally, and it finishes. Stop the fight. 30 points to 12 to New Zealand over the Australian side here at North Harbour Stadium. 6 tries in all. Eru and Jones getting a double. Tony Iro and Ridge, the other try scorers for New Zealand. Ridge landed 3 goals. And for the Australians, Darren Lockyer, a sparkling debut coming up with 2 tries. Girdler managed both conversions. But very much the Kiwis night here in Friday Night Football. A happy team, 30 points to 12. We'll take a break. Paul and Brent will be back to wrap things up. And we'll also have our Telstra $1,000 man of the match.